Okay, 3 defeats in 4 matches now for Colchester United, and I don't think it's a coincidence that this has come along at the time when they are being talked about as potential promotion candidates and automatic promotion as well. They're a very, very well respected side, probably potentially one of the best 3 teams in the division in terms of the standards they set, in terms of performance from week to week. But for some reason, they can never seem to crack this, get themselves into the playoffs and stay there and remain towards the top of the table as a real force. There seems to be a struggle to deal with pressure, I think it is. I don't think it's uncommon for process teams that have a really good process and refined process over time, that are well coached on the training ground. It's not necessarily uncommon for these to be the type of teams, the profile of teams that struggle once they get themselves into contention, really struggle to do themselves justice at that point and not take on board some of the pressure that goes with it. I think this has been a common theme for Colchester. They finished, in that 8th and 9th position about 3 seasons running now. McGreal's the longest serving manager in the division. You watch his team play most of the time and you can tell that they're the team with the most refined identity, and just very strong from week to week in general. But they seem to keep doing this. They get themselves into a position. Recently they were being talked about by a lot of other opposition managers as automatic promotion material. You try to get a feel for the division and you're thinking, yeah, this could be their year. This could be, if they can break through this mental barrier, this could be the year where they're ready for automatic promotion. But they've just not kicked on once they've got themselves, within striking distance. It's almost now a case of, are they trying to hold on to a playoff position? Now, at the weekend, we're beaten 3-0 by Port Vale. Bearing in mind, in the last 4 matches, they've lost 3 of them now. 2 of them, they took the lead and ended up losing against teams they really should be beating in Cambridge United and Grimsby Town. But at the weekend, they went to Port Vale away, who, were in decent form, didn't show up at all. They were beaten 3-0 on the day. Totally out of character was how John McGreal described the performance. But then the interesting thing about the interview was towards the end, he was asked the question, that people outside the club are going to be saying this and that, and the pressure's getting to them, now they're in the top 7 and stuff like that. And McGreal's response was quite telling for me. He was using language like batten down the hatches, close ranks. It was all very, we're under threat type language. Anyone who's remotely taken an interest in neuro-linguistic programming at any stage will understand that the way you frame things is important, and in terms of the messages you send out to your players. And that's the case with McGreal. His language is very much about hiding away because you're under threat, shutting out all exterior noise. That noise is going to be there whether you like it or not. Yet McGreal's response seems to be to use this narrative that we just close ranks, we just shut out all potential noise and just get on with trying to concentrate on what we're going to concentrate on. I don't think it's healthy language to use, and I think it's not. It's been a theme for too long now, and it's the one sticking point with McGreal that is potentially standing between him and getting his team into League One, where I believe, in terms of the work he's done on the training ground and the standards that Colchester set most of the time, I do think that they should be pushing for League One and probably deserve a return to League One based on that body of work. But there's serious reservations on the mental side of the game, and this is happening too often now for them. 18 months, they could have been, last season could have been a team that was in contention, ended up finishing outside the playoffs altogether, and it would be a real shame if that was to happen again this season, because I'm not sure they'd get another chance.